What's up, everybody? We are back here in the studio because we are going to be putting on our producer hat to show you a little bit of what it's like to be a producer. And that will help us understand a little bit more about the different roles between a producer and a DJ. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, there is a very fine line between being a producer and being a DJ. Sometimes that line is kind of mixed. We are going to provide a bit of perspective on what it's like to be in the producer chair versus the the booth. And as you can see, I have a piece of software up here called Ableton Live, which is like a audio workstation, and it allows musicians to basically bring together different instruments and sounds and samples to create different kinds of records. As you can see, I am not in front of a DJ turntable setup or CDJs or DJ controller because that isn't the type of equipment that I'm using as a producer. In fact, I'm actually just using this right here, which is an Akai MIDI keyboard, which basically lets me play different kinds of melodies on the keyboard, and that was supposed to sound like a keys, like that. There you go. So as you can see, we have a little bit of some tracks up here. Don't worry too much if you are not sure how Ableton works. As a producer, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to select different instruments that I am expressing musical ideas with. So for example, I have a piano little musical idea that I created here. And as a producer, I'm trying to come up with these little types of loops. For example, here's the piano, like I showed you. Here is a bass line. And here is an example of some kick drums and some hats. And so as you can see, I am taking all these different samples and musical ideas, and then my job as a producer is I'm trying to then take all of these sounds and fit them into a track so that I can produce an end result of something like a 3 to 12-minute track, for example, that I can release on vinyl or more likely digitally these days. And so that's kind of what we're looking at here in the timeline view of Ableton. Is I've taken some of these different patterns that I've shown you, for example, the kick drum, and I've now aligned it in such a way that it is showing up in a time dimension. So you can see how the track kind of progresses. And so we can play a little bit of this very quick track that I've made here so that you can sort of get an idea of what it's like to be a producer. And so we bring in some shaker samples here, and we're just combining all these different musical ideas and patterns that I have created either through the MIDI keyboard or through finding samples or loops or anything like that. There's that keyboard sample that I showed you. So as you can see from the example that I just showed you, these were all new musical ideas, new patterns, new chords that I put together while working here in the studio and just applying and trying different samples and sounds. And I don't have any DJ decks or anything here because I'm not actually mixing recorded music. I'm actually creating recorded music. And so that is mainly the job of the producer, is to bring together those different sounds and produce or create recorded music for the DJ to play. In the next video, we are going to take a look at what it's like to be on the DJ, in the DJ booth and on the DJ decks, playing recorded music.